Let me ask you something. When was the last time you gave life everything you had? I'm talking about shutting out the noise, ignoring the opinions, and going so hard on your goals that even the person in the mirror starts to look unfamiliar. See, there comes a point when you stop chasing approval and start chasing purpose. That's when the transformation begins. After that, no one, and I mean no one, will recognize you. This isn't for the lazy. This isn't for the doubters. This right here is for the ones who are done waiting, the ones who are tired of looking at their reflection and seeing potential go unused. Today, I'm talking to the version of you that's been hiding, the focused, dangerous, unstoppable version. And once you tap in, once you lock in with laser focus, you will scare people with your growth. They won't recognize you, not because you changed, because you finally became who you were born to be. Focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Discipline outshines talent. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be the most consistent and focused in the room. Isolation breeds elevation. Sometimes God will separate you to prepare you. Don't fear being alone. Focus grows in silence. Distractions are the death of progress. Every scroll, every doubt, every critic is stealing minutes from your mission. Your old self can't come with you. The next version of you requires shedding comfort ego and habits that no longer serve. People will do doubt until they can't deny. They won't see it until you've already become it. Let your success be the rebuttal. Focus is a superpower in a distracted world. If you can shut it all out and lock in, you'll do in 1 year what others take 10 to accomplish. You're not waiting on the right time. You're avoiding the hard work. The moment is now. Nothing magical is coming later. The vision only needs to make sense to you. Don't big blind people to see your vision protected. Nurture it. Your future applauds your present sacrifice. Skip the party. Miss the call. Turn off the noise. Every sacrifice is a seed. After focus comes fire. Once you taste progress, you'll be addicted to growth. And no one will recognize who you've become. Let me know if you want this extended into a full speech, a tailored for a video, or made more Steve Harvey style with humor and grit. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you gave life everything you had? I don't mean just trying for a few days. I don't mean putting in half the energy and then expecting full results. I mean really showing up every single day with a fire in your soul and focus in your mind so sharp it could cut through doubt like a knife. You see, most people say they want change. Most people claim they want success. But you know what separates the talkers from the doers is focus. Ruthless, relentless, tunnel vision focus. This is not about motivation. This is about transformation. Motivation fades, discipline and focus, they last. When you make the decision, and I mean the real all-in decision, to block out the noise, to stop looking left and right at what everybody else is doing, something starts to shift in your spirit. Something changes in the way you carry yourself, the way you wake up, the way you walk into a room. That version of you that you're chasing, that version that's confident, successful, unstoppable, that version requires you to make a choice, a serious one. And here's the truth that no one wants to say out loud. You cannot become that version of yourself and stay the same. You cannot hang around the same people, think the same thoughts, repeat the same excuses, and expect transformation to fall into your lap. It doesn't work that way. See, focus requires sacrifice, and sacrifice feels like pain before it feels like progress. It means you might be misunderstood. You might be judged. You might be laughed at. But while they're laughing, you'll be building. While they're scrolling, you'll be grinding. While they're relaxing, you'll be growing. And that growth will be so intense, so visible, so undeniable, that one day even the people closest to you will stop and say, "Who is that?" That's when you'll smile. Not because you became someone new, because you finally became you, the real you, the one you buried under doubt, under fear, under other people's opinions. And you didn't get there by chance. You got there because you locked in. You focused harder than ever. You said, "I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how many nights I cry. I don't care how many times I fail. I'm going to keep showing up because I owe it to myself to become the version of me that I've been avoiding." And let me tell you, that version of you, that one that's hungry, that's disciplined, that's unshakable, they don't need to be recognized by others. Because once you truly focus, the world won't recognize you anyway. Your energy will shift. Your circle will change. Your habits will evolve. You'll walk different. You'll talk different. And people won't know how to react to it. They'll say you changed. And you know what? They're right, you did. And you're not going back. Because now you've tasted what it's like to show up fully, to live with purpose, to live with clarity. And once you've lived in that lane, you can't go back to autopilot. You can't unsee the power that comes from focus. You can't unfeel the pride that comes from discipline. So keep going, keep focusing harder, because what's coming next is going to shock everyone, including you. No one will recognize you, and that's exactly how it should be. This isn't for the lazy. This isn't for the doubters, the excuse makers, the ones who want applause more than results. What I'm about to say isn't going to comfort you. It's going to challenge you. It's going to push you to look at yourself in the mirror and stop pretending that you're doing all you can when deep down you know you've been holding back. This right here is for the ones who are done waiting. The ones who are tired of feeling that constant tug in their soul, knowing they're capable of more, but choosing comfort because it's familiar. It's for the ones who are tired of scrolling through success stories, watching documentaries, reposting quotes, and not being one of the stories worth telling. This is your wake-up call. See, we've convinced ourselves that waiting is wise, that if we just wait until things feel right, until life calms down, until someone believes in us, that's when we'll finally start. But let me be real with you, nothing magical is coming. No miracle moment is waiting around the corner. The opportunity is here right now, disguised as work, discomfort, and discipline, and most people miss it because they're too busy wishing success would knock on their door without them having to change the locks. Today, I'm not speaking to the version of you that's comfortable. I'm speaking to the version of you that's hungry, the version that's been silenced by fear, by failure, by other people's voices, the version that cries late at night because you know you're meant for more. That version of you, that's the real you. The focused, dangerous, relentless version that the world hasn't seen yet. And once you decide, not hope, not wish, not try, but decide to tap into that part of yourself, you become a force. And listen to me closely, once you go all in, once you block out the noise, once you give up fitting in to start standing out, you will scare people with your growth. You will confuse them. You will shake their perception of who you used to be, because they won't understand how the person who used to second guess everything is now bold, decisive, and walking in purpose. They won't recognize the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you no longer seek permission to be great. And that's the goal. You're not meant to be recognizable. You're not meant to fit into the mold others placed you in. You were meant to outgrow it. But here's the secret. Transformation is lonely. Growth is loud on the inside and silent on the outside. You'll be working in silence while others are partying. You'll be doubting yourself while others are distracting themselves. You'll be planting seeds while others are wasting seasons. But when that fruit starts to show, when the results become undeniable, when your focus turns into fire and your fire turns into results, then they'll look at you and say, "You've changed." And you'll say, "Yes, I have." Because you can't become who you're meant to be by staying who you are. You can't keep living halfway and expect full blessings. You got to lock in. You got to focus so hard that your old life gets uncomfortable around your new mindset. You've got to be willing to break up with who you were to make room for who you're becoming. Because once you do that, once you stop dipping your toe into potential and finally dive in, you will start becoming the kind of person that even your past self wouldn't recognize. You'll stop chasing validation and start chasing your vision. You'll stop explaining your goals to people who aren't even chasing their own. And slowly your life will change, not in one big explosion, but in daily decisions, small, consistent, powerful moves. One day you'll look around and realize that no one recognizes you anymore. Not because you became someone else, but because you finally stopped hiding the real you. And that version doesn't settle. That version doesn't seek comfort. That version focuses. That version wins. You cannot become the version of yourself you dream about while dragging the past along with you. Read that again. Let it settle. Because this truth is the reason so many people never evolve. They're trying to grow without letting go. They want transformation without separation. But the reality is this: the next level of your life is going to demand that you leave behind everything that doesn't serve the future you. And that's hard. It's uncomfortable. It hurts. But it's necessary. You've got to be brave enough to outgrow your own patterns. Brave enough to walk away from habits that feel good but produce nothing. Brave enough to look at your surroundings and admit, this version of me can't go where I'm going. That includes the people you surround yourself with. That includes the thoughts you entertain. That includes the environments you keep running back to. You see, growth demands a different atmosphere. Focus demands a different level of silence. And the future you, the disciplined, refined, powerful version of you, can't be birthed in the same place the old you was surviving in. It's not just about doing new things. It's about becoming someone new. And to do that, you've got to confront the part of yourself that's been comfortable playing small, the part of you that's been tolerated average. You've got to face that version of you and say, your time is up, because the person you've been is not strong enough to carry the weight of who you're becoming. You've got to grow your mindset, sharpen your vision, tighten your circle, upgrade your discipline, not for applause, not for likes, but because your future is too important to be sabotaged by who you used to be. The journey of growth is not a highlight reel. It's not glamorous. It's full of lonely nights, hard choices, and unseen effort. But the result is so worth it, because when you finally strip away all that held you back, all that slowed you down, all that made you doubt your worth, what's left is you raw and real and ready to show up, ready to speak boldly, ready to move like your purpose is the only thing that matters. And once you reach that level of focus, your old self can't even survive in the same space. You'll notice your conversations change. You won't gossip like you used to. You won't complain like you used to. You won't even be tempted by the same distractions. Why? Because your vision will be too clear, your mission too strong, your mind too guarded. The people who once understood you will start saying things like, you've changed. And you won't even flinch, because you'll know, yes, I changed, I had to. I outgrew the excuses, I outgrew the drama, I outgrew the version of me that needed everyone to be comfortable while I was suffering in silence. The truth is, not everyone will clap for your growth. Not everyone will walk with you when your path gets narrow. But that's okay. This next chapter isn't about being liked, it's about being aligned. Aligned with your calling, aligned with your values, aligned with the future that's calling out to you louder than any crowd ever could. And the price of alignment is detachment. You have to be willing to detach from what's familiar if it no longer fits where you're going. You have to let your old self rest in peace, respectfully and with love, because you are not that person anymore. Every step you take in focused discipline, every time you silence the inner critic, every time you show up for yourself when no one else does, you are shedding an old layer. You are breaking generational patterns. You are creating a version of yourself that will leave a legacy. And when the work starts to show, when the shift becomes visible, people won't even recognize you. And that's not just a possibility, that's the goal. Because if they still recognize you, you haven't changed enough. If they still treat you like who you were, you haven't locked in hard enough. But when you do, when the focus hits a level so deep that even your reflection looks like a stranger, that's when you know the old you is gone and the new you is here to stay. They won't see it until you've already become it. That's the truth that most people don't want to accept. They want recognition before transformation, applause before effort, validation before evolution. But life doesn't work like that. You don't get celebrated at the starting line. You get celebrated when you finish, when you endure, when you stay focused even when no one is clapping. And I need you to understand something powerful today. The world isn't supposed to believe in you yet. They're not supposed to see your vision. They're not supposed to understand why you're working in silence, turning down distractions, disappearing from social scenes, and obsessing over your future, because they weren't called to your purpose. You were. And that's exactly why you have to stop trying to be understood by people who haven't done the work you've been doing internally. Stop waiting for permission to become something greater. Stop explaining your dreams to people who've never dared to dream for themselves. While they're still asking questions, you should already be building answers. While they're talking, you're walking. While they're doubting, you're doing. You don't need their recognition. You need your results. Because the moment you stop begging for validation and start building without distraction, everything begins to shift. You step into a different level of alignment, a different energy, a different focus, one that speaks loud enough for you without ever having to open your mouth. There's something special about the season where no one sees what you're doing, that hidden grind, that behind-the-scenes work, that time when you're developing strength, discipline, and consistency in silence. It's in that season that your foundation gets built. It's in that season that your habits are formed. And most importantly, it's in that season that your mindset evolves. You begin to notice you don't care about being noticed. You care about being effective, care about building something that outlives the moment, something real, something untouchable. And that's when you start becoming dangerous, not in a harmful way, but in a way that your focus becomes touchable. Your drive becomes unshakable. Your vision becomes unstoppable. People will still doubt you. That's part of it. Some will look at you and say you've changed. Others will try to remind you of who you used to be. They'll bring up old versions of you as if that's still your identity. But here's the key. They're responding to the old blueprint, not the new build. They're reacting to a version of you that no longer exists. And you don't have to argue with them. You don't have to prove anything. Let them talk, because soon they want to deny what you've built. They won't be able to ignore your consistency. They won't be able to avoid your results. By the time they wake up to who you become, it'll be too late to stop you, because you'll already be moving. You'll already be elevated. You'll already be walking in doors that they didn't even know existed. That's the power of doing the work when nobody's watching. That's the reward of staying focused even when it's not popular, even when it's not praised, even when it's just you and your vision in the dark. So let them doubt, let them question, let them laugh if they want to. Because while they're standing still, you're moving mountains. While they're wasting time, you're building legacy. And the best part is that one day they'll have no choice but to respect the very thing they once ridiculed. Not because you asked them to, but because the evidence will be too loud to ignore. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep working in silence. Keep turning doubt into discipline. Because when you finally walk into the version of you that you've been fighting to become, no one, and I mean will recognize you, not even you, because you'll have become something that didn't exist before, something new, something powerful, something unstoppable. And it all began the moment you stopped waiting to be seen and started focusing so hard they couldn't look away. Focus is a superpower in a distracted world. And let me tell you something, if you can master this one thing, if you can train your mind to lock in when everyone else is scrolling, if you can train your soul to stay steady while others chase noise, you'll rise so far above the average that it'll look like you're from another planet. Because right now, most people can't go 5 minutes without being pulled in 1,000 directions. They're trapped in loops of comparison, consumed by opinions, addicted to validation, and constantly reacting to life instead of creating it. They wake up and reach for their phones before they even reach for their purpose. They check likes before they check in with themselves. And they wonder why they feel stuck, uninspired, and overwhelmed. But if you're willing to unplug, if you're willing to go against the grain, if you're willing to protect your attention like your future depends on it, because it does, then you'll start seeing things shift in your life so fast it'll feel like a different reality. See, focus isn't just about doing one thing at a time. Focus is building a mind that knows how to ignore everything that doesn't matter. It's about being so clear on your purpose that distractions don't even feel tempting anymore. That noise, that gossip, that drama, it all starts sounding like static. And when you reach that level, you become powerful. Because in a world where everyone's running in circles, the person moving with direction becomes unstoppable. Most people don't even realize how much power they're giving away daily. And they think a minute of distraction here and there doesn't matter. But it's death by 1,000 cuts. Every time you break your focus, you pay a price. And over time, that price adds up. In missed opportunities, in wasted energy, in dreams that never saw the light of day. But when you flip the script and say, no, I'm taking my time back, I'm taking my attention back, I'm building something that requires my full presence, then you become the architect of your future. You stop living life on accident and start living life with precision. When you focus hard, you don't just change your habits. You change your identity. You stop saying, I'll try, and start saying, I am. You stop bouncing between ideas and start mastering one. You stop being a consumer and start becoming a creator. And that shift is everything. Because once you feel what it's like to be locked in, truly locked in, you won't want to live any other way. You'll wake up with clarity. You'll walk with intention. You'll speak with authority. And the results will start stacking quietly at first. Then undeniably. People around you won't understand at first. They'll call you obsessed. They'll say you're too intense. They'll wonder why you don't show up to every event, why you're not as available, why you're always doing your own thing. But let them talk, because when the focus starts paying off, when your body changes, your bank account grows, your mindset strengthens, your peace deepens, they'll go silent. Not because you told them to, but because they won't have anything left to say. The results will speak. The discipline will speak. The transformation will speak. And the best part, you won't even need to defend it, because focus teaches you to stop performing and stop producing. Focus teaches you to stop chasing attention and start chasing alignment. Focus rewires your brain to reject chaos and protect peace. And in doing so, you become unrecognizable, not in a bad, but in the most beautiful, powerful way possible. The old you, the distracted you, the reactive you, the one who let everyone and everything steal your energy, that version slowly fades away. In its place, a new version is born, a version that sees life through a sharper lens, a version that shows up prepared, a version that can't be shaken by petty things. That's the gift of focus. It doesn't just change your schedule. It changes your spirit. It teaches you to guard what matters, to move with purpose, to live with power. And when you live like that, fully locked in, laser sharp, undistracted by the noise, you won't just change your life, you'll own it. You'll become someone no one recognizes because you'll finally be someone no one believed you could become. And the most important person who'll be shocked is you, because you'll look in the mirror one day, smile, and say, this is who I was meant to be all along. You're not waiting on the right time. You're avoiding the hard work. And that truth might sting, but it could be the exact thing that saves your future. You keep telling yourself that you're waiting for clarity, for the perfect moment, for the stars to align, for someone to believe in you, for more time, more money, more motivation. But deep down, you know what's really happening. You're delaying. You're procrastinating. If you're hesitating because the work required to become the version of yourself you dream about is terrifying. Because once you actually start, truly start, there's no turning back. There's no more hiding behind potential. No more excuses to lean on. It's just your focus and the grind that separates where you are from where you want to be. And that's why most people stay stuck. Not because they're not capable, not because they don't have a vision, but because deep down they're scared to let go of comfort, scared to give up the habits that feel safe, even though they're toxic, but scared to look foolish, scared to fail. So they wait. They keep getting ready. They keep planning, preparing, overthinking, talking about what they're going to do. They make vision boards but never take real action. They hype themselves up in January and burn out by February because it was never about the timing. It was always about the truth. They weren't ready to work. But the life you want isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to move. It's waiting for you to get uncomfortable, to make sacrifices, to change your patterns, to finally admit that the old way of living, the old routine, the old mindset, it's not enough anymore. You've outgrown it. And if you keep shrinking to fit a life that no longer fits you, you'll suffocate in your own potential. That's what happens when you refuse to do the work. Your dream becomes a burden instead of a blessing. You lie awake at night thinking about the life you could be living. You scroll through people who are doing the very thing you know you're capable of. And instead of feeling inspired, you feel frustrated because deep down, you know that could be you. That should be you. But you're waiting for what? The truth is, time doesn't owe you anything. Every day you delay is a day lost. Every excuse you give is a door you close. And no matter how badly you want it, nothing will change until you start moving. You've got to stop romanticizing the grind and start living it. You've got to stop waiting for discipline to appear magically. Discipline is built one decision, one action, one commitment at a time. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, that's where the growth lies, in the effort no one sees, in the mornings you get up when no one is watching, in the sacrifices that go unnoticed, in the choices you make when it would be so much easier to quit. This isn't about perfection. This isn't about waiting until you're 100% ready. It's about starting messy, scared, uncertain, but starting anyway. Because the moment you decide to go all in, the moment you stop negotiating with your weakness, stop flirting with distractions, stop entertaining the old version of you that just want to stay comfortable, that moment is when everything starts to shift. Not because circumstances change, but because you change. You become the kind of person who doesn't wait for opportunities but creates them, who doesn't wish for transformation but works for it, blame the clock but respects it by showing up every single day. And when you live like that, when you train your mind to stay focused, when you treat every single day like it's the only chance you've got, something powerful starts to happen. You get momentum. You stop second guessing. If you stop waiting to feel like it, you start being it. That's when people start noticing. That's when results start piling up. That's when your habits start forming a foundation that can carry dreams for bigger than you imagine. And before long, if you look up and realize you've become someone you don't even recognize, not because you changed overnight, but because you finally stopped hiding behind delays and started doing the work. The future doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most disciplined, the ones who stopped waiting and started building, the ones who got tired of their own excuses and decided enough was enough. And if you want that kind of future, it starts the moment you stop lying to yourself about timing and start telling yourself the truth about effort. You don't need the perfect moment. If you need a focused mind and a committed heart, and once those two things align, there is nothing you can't become